Super Mario Odyssey has a lot of kingdoms. A lot of them are explored all the way through, but some of them are barely even touched on, and they need a lot more of a focus in my opinion. But with all the kingdoms that we have, I thought of the idea of what if we actually got some type of DLC that gave us a new area to explore in each kingdom. I'm not talking about a new kingdom, but rather the same kingdoms with new areas. We're going to go through all 15 kingdoms of the game and talk about what the new area would look like, what Mario could turn into with new captures, and just new mechanics going on within that area. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario Odyssey and all things Nintendo in general. We start off with the Cap Kingdom, the very first kingdom of the game. This is supposed to be kind of a walkthrough area for Mario to learn his first capture ability, being the frog. But what if the Cap Village was explorable now, where all the Cap residents, all the Bonnetiers, actually live? You can see like little neighborhoods, little areas, and even their little airships that you can see that they clearly can fly, but a lot of them are crashed because of Bowser at the very beginning of the game. But Mario can capture these little airships, shoot and even fly them around, and, you know, kind of shoot down Bowser airships or maybe his giant wedding one. That would be pretty cool, and kind of fly around and have a shoot-off. It'd be a lot like Sherm, but this time you're flying in a UFO saucer type of thing. There will also be buildings that Mario can enter, such as the homes of the Bonnetiers, and he can just kind of explore and see new types of Bonnetier residents. Next up, we have the Cascade Kingdom. This was kind of a dinosaur jungle style of area, but what if we actually got a full jungle that Mario could explore through with different dinosaurs to capture as well, outside of just a T-Rex? Like, for instance, a pterodactyl that he can fly around, or even like a velociraptor, or maybe even a triceratops. There's multiple different options. It would be really cool. There can even be a volcano at the top of the island with magmargs on the inside that Mario can capture and go through the lava with. I know we already had the lava bubble, but this would be cool too. For the Sand Kingdom, you could have a giant sandy area where a sandstorm is happening and Mario has to make his way throughout the sandstorm in order to reach the oasis. And there could be more pyramids, but with actual tombs and hallways to explore within the pyramids, because right now they're more just kind of like mini levels that we have to complete instead of actually tombs inside of the pyramid. But Mario can turn into bats and even fly around and find mice that he can turn into and get into small areas and crevices. That would be pretty cool. He'll also probably get chased by new types of mummy creatures and maybe can even turn into something like a Pokey, because we don't have anything like that in the game right now. For the Lake Kingdom, there could be a giant underwater world such as Atlantis type of place for the Lock Lady creatures and other creatures of the deep to live. It's deep underwater and through multiple caves, and it takes Mario a long time to get there, but once he finds the city, he can actually warp there with his hat just like every other world. It's a lot like the area in the Lake Kingdom now, with the water dome that you can enter and the different water elevators and stuff like that. But it's just a lot bigger and more like Atlantis, with buildings to explore and one giant building to explore. For the Wooded Kingdom, I thought of a giant wooded area with canopies in the trees. We've been in a deep woods, we've been all over this factory type setting, but what if we were actually up in the top of the trees along canopies and there was some type of new creature that lived up there? There are giant trees that you can scale from the inside and the outside, leaving lots of different areas to explore. You can also swing on ropes from tree to tree, and Mario can even turn into small woodpecker type of birds that can fly around like the Pokios and stick to trees, but of course can fly instead of just land on the ground like Pokio. Now we have the Cloud Kingdom, and for once we're actually going to have a dedicated area. Since this was just a battlefield before for Mario and Bowser, this time you would have a giant cloud area with a cloud castle at the very top. Yes, there'll be a whole castle and a castle courtyard and even a castle town where people will live. It'll be pretty cool, and there'll be tons of Lakitus that Mario could capture. Instead of just fishing, this time you'll be able to throw Spinies, and yes, Mario can turn into the Spiny as well and roll around and even crawl into small places as them. It's gonna be pretty cool. I would love a whole castle setting. It would remind me a lot of Zelda. It would also just expand a place that had so much potential. I know we technically already have a jungle with what I said with the Cascade Kingdom, but the Lost Kingdom would have another type of tropical jungle-like area. There are tons of islands on the poison sea that Mario can travel to by capturing a dory that's able to swim through this poison. He can swim across the poison and even turn into different scuttlebugs on different islands, which were the spider creatures in Mario that allows Mario to shoot out webs and even make web paths for himself when he enters certain caves. Okay, so for the Metro Kingdom, I got kind of crazy. First off, what if we were able to go into buildings this time in a new part of the city, instead of just Mario running around the outside of a city? Mario can go in different rooms and different areas actually inside of the city buildings. There can be a mission where everyone gets turned into zombies, and Mario has to sneak down halls at night and try to escape without being caught in dark business hallways, and he can even hide in like little cubicles and stuff and have to hurry up down the hallway. And at the end, Mario will like rescue everybody, and everybody will turn back to normal, so it won't be kind of like too creepy for Mario, but just enough to be like, whoa, what in the world? I mean, Mario had a giant dragon after all. This would be really cool. Mario could even turn into different office supplies to complete different missions. There could also be a neighborhood type of setting where the people actually wear regular clothes instead of all business suits all the time, and you can actually go to house, see people grilling, people playing on the playground, and, you know, just kind of like a nice little neighborhood that Mario can, you know, go around and just casually walk inside people's houses. I know it sounds weird, but if Link can do it, so can Mario. The Snow Kingdom could have a giant ski resort with huge slopes and places where people are doing tricks at like different skate parks, and even a skating rink where people are skating. This could be really cool. You can even have a giant cabin where people go in, you know, to rest, and you get to go inside. There's a fireplace and different things going on. You get to explore inside the cabin as well, which would just be so cool. Mario can even use Shavarians to go down the hills, or use a new snowboard item that is given to him specifically in this area, and he can pull it out whenever he wants. I don't know what the button controls would be, but, you know, Nintendo would figure that out. He can also turn into penguins and slide on his stomach and slide into igloos where more challenges await him. The Seaside Kingdom could have a cove area where the water is crashing on the shore with giant cliff areas that you can also dive in, so yes, Mario can do some dangerous cliff diving, and there'll be multiple different caves to explore inside and see different areas, which would be pretty cool. There will be more underwater areas and also a giant boat to explore. Now, I don't know if it's rather going to be a pirate ship or a giant cruise ship, but it's going to be one or the other. I think a cruise ship would be pretty cool. There could also be a port with a lighthouse to check out that Mario can climb all the way to the top, and Mario can turn into different crabs maybe on the beach, or even Monty Moles where he can dig through the sand and dig through different areas. That would be actually interesting. We don't have any type of Monty Mole right now capture in the game, so I think that would be a good capture to see Mario turn into from a past enemy. The Luncheon Kingdom is another one I got kind of weird with, but it's all about food at the end of the day. So what if there was a giant building that Mario finds in the Luncheon Kingdom, and he enters it, and the entire world, you know, this whole section of the world is dedicated to a giant kitchen, where Mario's like really small and everything in the kitchen is huge, kind of like a Chibi Robo moment. I think this would be really, really unique, and Mario can also turn into different types of kitchen appliances and supplies, like a fork, a knife, a blender, you know, a mixing bowl. I don't know, it would be cooler than it sounds, because all of these would be dedicated to certain missions that Mario would have to do in order to make things work. Maybe he even has to cook certain food in order to get a power moon, but I think that would be cool. There'll be giant stoves and microwaves and all types of things, and a giant fridge that's its own world when Mario enters it, so that would be a really unique area. I just love the idea of a big house, or just a big room where Mario's just tiny inside of it. The Ruined Kingdom is yet again another kingdom, just like the Cloud Kingdom, that could have been explored so much more and had so much potential. It was a very creepy area that's something that we haven't really seen from the Mario franchise. And what if you could visit the Ruined Castle? So just like the Cloud Kingdom is more of an upscale, fancy, modern castle in the sky. This one is the opposite. It's kind of a destroyed castle with a destroyed castle town, and everything's in ruins. And like, even if there's residents, maybe it's just like ghostly creatures or some type of like ghostly knights that walk around, and that would be pretty interesting. It'd be a destroyed castle town and tons of deep caves for Mario to enter, and he could capture boos and bats and kind of just different creepy Mario creatures, maybe even Phantom Mask. I always thought that would be really cool. I put that in my what if video. I think that's a very interesting creature, and something that could be very creepy with the Ruined Kingdom. But this would remind me a lot of Breath of the Wild, and especially like what looks like to be Breath of the Wild 2, where everything's once again in ruins and you have this floating ruined castle. So I would love to see kind of like a castle in destruction. You know, you have a ruined library and dining hall and stuff, and Mario can run around and see what happened, and maybe even uncover a little bit of a story behind everything. Now, I think Bowser's Kingdom could go one of two ways. The first way I think would be very interesting, which would be a giant Japanese-style castle like Takamaru Castle, with tons of Bowser enemies all in the hallways and different secret rooms. This is what I actually thought they were going to do when I seen that Bowser's Kingdom was a thing, and it was a new style on what Bowser's main area of the game looked like, instead of just lava in a castle. But they could also just go back to the basics and give us a Bowser's Castle that's flying in the sky on the other part of Bowser's Kingdom that we just couldn't see because it was hiding behind clouds. This could be Bowser's Castle just straight up in the sky, and we get to finally explore Bowser's Castle in a full 3D explorative Mario game. We could turn into more Bowser enemies that we have not been able to yet, such as Koopa Troopas and even Thwomps, and all of Bowser's enemies that are already in the game will be here at this castle, just strictly Bowser's army. And I think this would be really cool. We've seen the inside of Bowser's Castle through spin-offs like Mario & Luigi and Paper Mario, but we haven't quite been in it the way of a 3D Mario game. Even the 2D Mario games, we've seen Bowser's Castle, and it's always been different just for the level design purpose, but I would love to see a fully explorable 3D, landscape of Bowser's Castle. We could even go into Bowser's bedroom. Okay, I'ma calm down. And then we have the Moon Kingdom, which I feel like can be explored a lot more. Mario can hop on different chunks of meteor in space and have physics like Mario Galaxy and explore different meteorites or different things that's off the actual moon itself. He can also go into the moon, and there can be a giant crystal cave on the inside, which would look really pretty. I can see this room full of blue and purple crystals, kind of like that crystal cavern from Donkey Kong Country. So I think that would be a unique area. And maybe it could be like a little colony where the bunnies live, and then some sort of head bunny that takes over everything, and he's the leader of the Broodals and even Mama Broodal, and we have to defeat this big bunny, and he's the reason why this DLC is even here in the first place. And Bowser's not even the main enemy or something like that. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. And he could be kind of like the leader of the Broodals. Maybe we can capture some sort of bunny even, and maybe even be different members of the Broodals in order to take this guy down. I think that would be cool. Kind of just like a little bunny colony inside the moon. Last but not least, we have the Mushroom Kingdom. And this time it opens up the entire castle to allow us to explore some paintings from Mario 64, such as Whomp's Fortress and even Bob-omb Battlefield. Now this will also open up the entirety of the castle, not just the weird foyer section that we got in Mario Odyssey, but instead an updated version of what we've seen in Mario 64, and also kind of what we saw in Paper Mario 64. If you guys ever played the original Paper Mario on a Nintendo 64, it opened up a lot of unique areas and parts of the castle that we have never seen before, even like a little dungeon underneath, and also tons of different hallways and different rooms, such as even like a giant kitchen where Peach bakes cakes and stuff. It would be really cool to see something like that, just an entire castle explored, even if we don't get multiple different Mario 64 worlds in this as well, like Whomp's Fortress and Bob-omb Battlefield. Just a giant explorable Peach's Castle would be enough in my opinion. But Mario could turn into Bob-ombs if we go into Whomp's Fortress or Bob-omb Battlefield, and he could turn into Thwomps as well, like I mentioned before. Or maybe he could even turn into Toad. That would be a sight to see, I guess. But that was every Mario Odyssey Kingdom with a new area added if Nintendo were to do so in either DLC or a free update, which, let's face it, it wouldn't be a free update. But what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you guys really like this, maybe I'll add bosses to all these places for the next video or something like that. Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario Odyssey, all things Mario, and all things Nintendo in general. And I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.